My name's James Martin. I got into this game because I couldn't really do much else, to be honest. It was either that or be a vet. And the queue for the vet was too long and I was too thick, so I ended up being a chef. And I kind of always wanted to do it because my parents were farmers, so I was surrounded by good food, great ingredients, and I kind of, never really thought about doing anything else, to be honest. Now for this one, everybody loves roast beef, but this is roast beef with a difference. This idea comes about of a lot of functions that we do, a lot of dinner parties. When we do big events, 300, 400, it can work as little as for 4, as good as it can for 4,000. The secret of it is the cooking of it. And the way that food's evolving now and changing, it's all about temperatures and understanding what happens to food when it's placed in the pan. This works with chicken, it works with lamb, and it works with pork. It works better, to be honest, with lamb and beef, so both red meats. I've got 2 play dens, and to me it's like you're a grown-up kid. I've got one which is my little delicatessen in Winchester, which is not very far away from my house, where I can experiment with loads of different ingredients, new ideas, new products that keep coming in. I can use this as a test bed for it. And the other one is my kitchen at home. Literally, I've just had a kitchen built. We've got a full Wolf range. We've got the Sub-Zeros. I'm a purist at heart. I don't do too many gadgets. I've got a big oven range. I've got an oven on the wall. I've got a Pro 48. That's it for me. And I just didn't. It's a proper industrial bit of kit. So whenever we're developing new ideas for books and bits and pieces, I've got chefs who work for me full time, and they work for me from home. And we're there constantly tweaking different things. So all we're doing is basically just sealing the beef, first of all. Now there's no seasoning on here whatsoever. The minute I add salt to anything, it's going to draw out the moisture. You can put pepper on there if you want to, but just seal it like that, just roughly. So at this point I'm going to grab my cling film, and this is where this recipe changes massively. Traditionally what we do with beef normally, salt and pepper, seal the beef, place it in the oven. This, we're going to cook it in cling film, all right? Often when you're doing roasts and bits and pieces like that, particularly for a dinner party, you put food in the oven, you buy a nice piece of fillet of beef, put it in the oven, it's like that big, take it out of the oven and it's now that big. This will not lose its size, all right? It'll stay exactly the same as what it did when it went in, because it's the cooking temperature that's the important bit. All right? So what we do is we roll this in cling film. And the oven temperature for this is 70 degrees. It sits in the oven, 70 degrees, for a minimum of 40 minutes. Yeah, I think with cooking, particularly my style of cooking, I think it's all about precision. We're looking at temperatures a lot more. So the way that we cook fish is 54 degrees. The way that we cook meat is 70 degrees. And most ovens, if not all of them, don't go down to that temperature. There are other things you can do in a warming drawer, bits and pieces, but you don't quite get that exact temperature. And really when you're thinking about cooking dishes like that, it's all about precision. That's the key. So what we're going to do now with this, because that'll take 40 minutes to cook. Now, for a dinner party, you want stuff that is quick, easy, and almost you make it and forget about it. This is another one. This is a little pickle, and inspired by Indian sort of flavours. All right. Running through the flavours, you've got fenugreek seeds, which are these ones here. Must never be eaten just raw like that. They've got to be cooked. They'll break your teeth. These are little mustard seeds. You can use black onion seeds. Bit of turmeric, some salt. The salt's important that you use sea salt, not table salt. We've got some shallot, bit of ginger, bit of chilli, some coriander, touch of mango chutney, and then this stuff, butternut squash. You can use pumpkin, but diced up, that's what we end up with. And this is a very, very quick, simple Indian-inspired pickle. Bit of the old ginger. Always with ginger, you slice through the root, because otherwise it's stringy. So you just take the ginger like that, chop it through, straight through there. A little bit of shallot, exactly the same. You can then dice this nice and thin. Now this pickle, often with pickles and chutneys, you'll be looking at 30, 40 minutes to cook. 6 minutes, probably 5-6 minutes from raw, this sort of stuff. So we keep all the ingredients nice and fine, which that is. Just roughly chop the onion. Bit of chilli. You can put as much chilli as you want, but we just chop the chilli. So oil straight in there. In we go with the butternut squash. Start to fry that off. pinch of sugar. Good pinch of sugar. Turn the heat up. Now we can grab our ginger, chilli, whole lot going now. Start to heat that up. The fenugreek seeds, these are quite unusual, these little fellas, but you do need to cook these out. So in go the fenugreek seeds. You put some mustard seeds, like I say, you can get some black onion seeds, which are really nice as well. They go in as well. Turmeric. You need to be quite careful with turmeric, and it's the big mistake when people are cooking Indian food at home. They try and put too much turmeric in. It's quite a strong spice. It doesn't appear that, but it is quite strong, so you use a small amount. That's it. You use it a lot for antiseptic over in India as well. So if you've got cuts or anything like that, turmeric. It's a natural antiseptic. So turn the heat up again. And we can almost start to dry fry this. And it should start to come together quite quickly. I think with cooking in general, it's all about control. And that's why, you know, whenever chefs cook, they will, if you say, what will they go for? There's all these new fancy induction things, and a lot of chefs are going induction hobs and bits and pieces. But generally, the foodie ones will always cook on gas hobs, because it's much more controllable. If it gets too hot, you pull the pan off. Whereas the things with induction, I don't exactly know whether it's on or whether it's off, and how hot it is and everything. It requires a little bit more thought behind it. But I just like the way that these, you have instant control over it. You know, you turn the gas on and it's woof, and it comes up. You haven't got this little piddly little thing that you spend 10 minutes waiting for a pan to boil. You know, it's instant. Now, while I'm taking a tray out of a cloth, this comes straight out of the oven and it's cooking. And it's still the same size as what it was when it went in. All right, so you don't lose any of the size. What we can do is open this up, just carefully, like that. Now this is, like I was saying, doing a dinner party, you know your 20, 30 quid piece of beef is going to be 20, 30 quid when it comes out of the oven. So with the ovens that we're using, and the ones that I've got in my kitchen, particularly the Wolf ovens, and the convection side of it, is that you get it nice and hot and you get the continuous temperature no matter whatever's in the oven. You can have loads of stuff in it. I like the way that they self-clean themselves as well. It's one of the great things, typical bloke in the kitchen. The ovens, you push self-clean, shuts the oven door, leave it for 4 hours, open the oven door, it's clean. What we're going to do now is grab some oil, and I'm going to colour this all the way around. Just a nice hot pan, and that's just going to seal that. So I'm going to seal it all the way around just to get it nice and crisp. So obviously it's soft where it's been sat in cling film. I'm going to seal it all the way around. You know, Wolf is the cook's cooker, purely the fact that if you were looking for something similar in the commercial market that you wanted to put in your home, you're looking at probably £80,000 to £90,000 for a unit about the size of this table. And that's the great thing about these things. You can have a mix and match. So if you're really true keen chef who really wants to experiment with food a lot more, you can have the solid top part of the oven. So you could have a solid top, double burners, and then maybe the char grill. But most importantly with these things, the extractions that we use in the restaurant, really, particularly one of the restaurants that I've got in the Caribbean, I mean, literally, if that's on full, your air's like this, because it's 50 degrees in there. You need it to pump out some serious heat. But certainly they're going to be ample enough, no matter whatever you cook at home, they're going to be ample enough to get rid of it all. And above all else, there's nice light off it. I like the little red heat lamps that come with it as well. If you want to warm and keep meat nice and warm, you can put it under the red lamps as well, which is nice. And easy to keep clean. You know, they've taken the same sort of design off the commercial industry, as in the griddles that you get in the ventilation units come out, you can put them in the dishwasher. It's exactly the same thing as we do in the commercial kitchens, but again for the domestic market. So they're taking the influences from there, but making it accessible for people in their own home.